Hey everybody, welcome back. Okay, now we're getting into something that you will use in pretty much every programming language that you ever use. At least every one I've ever used has something called loops. And a loop is just that. It'll loop. You can either have it do it for a certain amount of times, you can have it do it indefinitely, depending on what you're doing with programming. The first loop we're going to go over here is called the for loop. Okay, so just to kind of clean things up a little bit, let's just get rid of this for right now, just so we don't have any extra text on the screen. And let's just kind of get rid of this. Okay. So what is a for loop? Well, let's say I want to put a line of code on the screen. Let's say I want to write something out and I want to write, I don't know, I like tuna. Okay. And I want to do that 10 times. Well, sure, I can write this 10 times, right? I can copy this and I can paste it a bunch of times, and I know that's not 10, but just to show you, and I'll say I like tuna, I like tuna, I like tuna, I like tuna, and sure, that works. But that's really, really not a good way to do things. So how can I make this go as many times as I want it to and only have to write document.write that line of code one time? Well, with a for loop. So the syntax for a for loop is the word for, and then you're going to put parentheses, and then you're going to put your curly brackets right there. Okay. Now inside these parentheses, it's actually going to take three statements. The first one is going to be the variable. You're going to create a variable, and you're going to assign that a value. Now, this is the one time where you don't have to put var before creating a variable. Okay. And you'll notice a lot of times when people use for loops, it'll be something like x will just be the variable. Okay, so in this case, we're going to put x equals 0. Now, when computers count, they generally tend to start at 0. So we could start this at whatever number we wanted, but just to kind of stay in good practice, we're going to start at 0. And let's say we want to do this 10 times. Okay, we want it to print on the screen 10 times. Well, because we assigned it a value, now we need the next statement, and just like before, when a statement's done, you put a semicolon there. Okay, so then we're going to put x is less than 10. Now let me explain this. So we want it to count 10 times, right? But we're not counting 1 to 10, we're counting 0 from 0. So for it to be 10 times, it would be 0 to 9. So what we're saying is whenever it's less than 10, then you're done, which means it would be 9, and then it would be done. So 0 to 9 is 10. And then how many times do I want to increment it? Well, x plus plus. The plus plus simply means 1. That's all it means, is add 1 to this, okay? Then I can do document.write I like tuna. And then something else that I want to show you here is you can put HTML right inside the JavaScript here. And because we want to do a line break, we can put that right in there like that, save it, and now when I hit refresh, you'll notice it did I like tuna 10 times. But what if I don't want it to increment by 1? Well, if you remember in a previous video, we did something called an addition assignment, or an add assignment. So what this is we do the plus equals again, just like we did before. And now I want to tell it that I want it to increment by 3. So if I do that, let's see what it does. Oh, well, it put it on the screen 4 times. Why is that? Well, if you look by increments of 3, if it starts out at 0, that's 1 time. 3 is the second time. 6 is the third time. And 9 is the fourth time. It won't go again because even though it's counting by 3, it can't go over 10 because I told it not to go over 10. But if I tell this to go, I'm sorry, that should have been 13. I made the mistake. If I tell it to go to 12, now it'll do it one more time because I did x is less than 13. Okay, so it'll allow it to go up to 12. So that's a for loop in a nutshell. And for loops come in very handy. Like I said, if you need to do something repetitively several times, but instead of having to write the same code over and over and over and over again, you can do it inside a for loop. Okay? So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.